session. We have a motion and a second, please.
I would like to make a motion.
Second.
A motion from member Lennon, a second from member Holmberg. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Just a brief announcement. Tonight's meeting is being digitally recorded. With that, we are on to special recognition tonight. We want. Oh, jump right over that. Thank you so much. Pledge of Allegiance led by Donna Georgine.
And actually, I'm going to ask Mr. Matt Byers if he would do us the honor of leading us in the pledge.
Thank you, Libby, and let's stand. And let's begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Donna and Matt. And on behalf of the board, I want to apologize. We got in a little bit late tonight, so that's why we're starting now. Okay, so we've got the announcement, we've got the pledge. Announcement of actions taken in closed session. So we did take action in closed session. We took action to deny an appeal made by Rachel Lasota of the findings of a complaints she had in a letter dated June 7, 2019. These were with regard to previous complaints that were addressed in that letter. So the vote was 4 ayes and 1 nay. The ayes were Georgino by roll call vote. Georgino, Lynn, Millenberg, and Smith, and the nay was Espinoza. So now, we are on to special recognition tonight. We have an honored guest. One of our students from the high school, Amanda Shea, received a silver medalist designation from Skills USA. Everyone.
So on behalf of the Board of Education and myself, we would like to present you with this honorary plaque and a good small gift from us for all of your accomplishments. Okay, so hold on here.
1, 2, 3. One more. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
To mention that she received this award for a t-shirt design that she.
So we put the t-shirt design onto the mug.
Oh wow!
Oh, thank you so much. Very nice.
Oh, that's very good.
Congratulations.
Okay, with that, we're moving on to requests to speak before the board, and I have a number of requests here tonight. Just going in the order I received. The first one is from Matt Byers, who wants to thank us for promoting from within. Matt?
Yeah.
Matt, can you make sure the mic's on?
Testing 1, 2, testing.
My name is Matt Byers, and I have been teaching at the high school in Oak Avenue for 33 years, Emperor for 34 years, Longton for 35 years. Been around for a long time. And I know that juggling personnel and administrations and whatnot is always tricky business and whatnot, but in my experience over the years, and that included back in the day when football was a big thing and the school district, and we had coaches that would lead us and then they would retire and the assistant would move up and lead us, and we had decades of success because of just the idea of promotion from within. And I know that when we got away from that, both in athletics or sometimes in other positions and whatnot, there was always kind of this bumpiness. And I've been just really, with with the turnover of administration and new leadership and whatnot, it was just absolutely exciting to me and a number of my colleagues to see Myra Rudell moved up in a position, Richard Lohman, Jessica Gould, people that have been in our district that have a feel for the legacy of our school district that we have enjoyed for so many years. I have enjoyed for so many years, being a Temple City High School graduate. I haven't been here a long time. And I just wanted to come and say thank you because of the stability, because of the legacy. I have no problem with the new vision and new blood in our district. That's always exciting and revitalizing, and taking an old dog and teaching him new tricks, or trying, still working on Instagram. But to have, at the same time, a sense of, we have, so many former students who are now teaching and leading that are here and throughout our district, this great legacy of Temple City staff that are homegrown and excited to give back, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud to be part of that. I'm so proud that our administration recognizes that and is so encouraging, and I'm looking forward to a new school year, and I'm thrilled that I get to be part of this great legacy and this new vision that has come to our district. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Next request is from Michael Shore, same subject. Michael.
Same subject, well, how are you? I'm actually here in support of Tcusd Gould. I think that's what I have written down. Or a little thing here. This letter, it was originally going to be a letter, and then I decided I would just come and say it. This letter comes to you in support for approving Tcusd Gould as assistant principal for Oak Avenue Intermediate School. She's highly capable and deeply tied both to Oak Avenue School and the Temple City Unified School District, and to the community as a whole. Her knowledge, her dedication, her history within the district, and her legacy of positive impact on nearly 25 years of students speaks volumes about her quality and an integral role in this district. To be transparent, Jessica and I have been friends for many, many years, but as both a friend and a colleague, I have seen her honesty, her integrity, and her dedication to the school and this community. Ask students about her, and they'll give you glowing, enthusiastic responses, telling you about what they did, saw, learned in her classes. Ask parents, and they'll gush about her caring and nurturing manner, as well as how much she does to make each child feel as though they have something to offer. Ask a colleague, and they will speak to her continued drive to learn, adapt, excel, and grow, the exact model of lifelong learning behavior we aspire to instill in our district students. Ask past administrators from Oak Avenue, and you'll hear the awe in their voices as they recount the many amazing programs and projects she's envisioned, constructed, and implemented, and how she worked hard to hold them accountable for what was best and right for kids. Pardon me. I hate hearing myself on this. Anyway, there are some within this community, though, who would attempt to deny her this career opportunity, and it is wrong and misguided to consider these voices. At all times, Jessica works for the betterment of the school and the students. Her commitment is not trivial nor contrived, but comes purely from her love and passion for the schools, families, and students whom she serves. Failure to recognize this or provide her with this position for which she has been selected and for which she is so greatly prepared would be counter to every move forward our district has made. Rather, it would be an expression of what is so often wrong with small-town politics. Individuals with an agenda who wish to cause hurt to others simply because they're motivated by negativity and or errant sense of self-importance, or who are unable to move beyond the perceived slight of the past. Anyway, I ask that you move positively in favor of Jessica Gould as assistant principal for Oak Avenue. Her reliability, her demonstrated capacity for effective, positive, sustained growth in her students, her outright love for her craft, and the school and district she serves has earned her the right to this opportunity. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next request, also on the same subject, Margaret McGill.
That's me.
Hi, I'm Margaret Riley, and this is Liam. He's a month old and he's very excited for his first board meeting. I'm here also to speak on behalf of Jessica Gould. This is a really ridiculous conversation, but When my family first came here, we were refugees from a war in Lebanon, and the city we ended up in, it was Temple City, oddly enough. They knew no one, they knew nothing. I didn't speak any English until the 4th grade. But Temple City made me a really strong, independent woman. And I am very thankful for Temple City, for everything that I am, everything that my brother is, everything that my whole family is because of Temple City. But I will be honest with you, it wasn't until the 8th grade that I really started to feel comfortable or confident in who I was. Always a little overweight, never very popular. But I ended up in Jessica Gould's English and history class in the 8th grade. And she saw in me a strong, independent, confident woman. And she taught me English and she taught me history, but she taught me how to be me. And I spent the rest of high school meeting other fantastic teachers, and I spent 4 years in college remembering the stuff that Jessica taught me. And then I came back to Oak, and I took on a couple of leadership positions, and I've had the opportunity to work with Jessica, and I've had the ability to see and hear from other students that it wasn't a one-time thing. Jessica loves kids. Jessica cares about kids, and Jessica cares about her schools. But more than that, Jessica's a fantastic leader. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Jessica Gould. But as an adult, I want to be Jessica Gould. And that's because she's fair. Even in sitting in meetings with her, when things would not end up in her favor or in the favor of her team or whatever, she would always do what was right. Even if it didn't ultimately benefit her, she would acquiesce to what was best for the school. She would acquiesce to what was best for the staff as a whole. Even if she personally didn't agree with it, if she saw that that is what was best and that's what everybody else needed, she would work hard to pioneer for that. And Oak, through all the administrative changes, I'll be honest with you, we championed through everything. As a staff, we are really, really close, and we come together over everything. But we've had a bumpy couple of years, and when things were difficult, it was Jessica who rose to the occasion and found a way to get us through everything. And everyone respected her for that and follows Jessica. And I'm here to speak on behalf of a number of our teachers at Oak, because we were so excited to hear that Jessica would have the opportunity to apply for vice principal. And we are so excited and so thankful that we'll have that continuity and someone who will push Oak in the direction that Oak needs to go, because we know that Oak needs to grow, but also respect the history and what makes Oak great. And so I'm just here to thank you guys and to make sure that Jessica makes VP. So thank you.
Thank you, Marta. And the next request is Louise Huff, who wants to speak about district cell phone solution.
Good evening, board and executive cabinet and superintendent and general public. First of all, I'm going to echo what's all been said about Jessica. Enough cannot be said about her. She is a superior leader, and she's a good example of what she not only talks the talk, she walks the talk. But now, moving on to what I started to be here for. I'm here to present for your consideration district cell phones. I feel these type of cell phones would better afford faster and quicker communication between key personnel. It would also be a big part of our safety plan and how we address our school sites during and after little things like an earthquake, flooding, or suspicious characters on site. I did some research and I found out that our neighboring school districts, Alhambra, Arcadia, Almonte, San Marino, Monrovia, and Bonita Unified School Districts all have district cell phones. I have worked on various school sites during lockdowns and disaster drills, and one of the things I noticed was there is a weakness in communication. Therefore, I feel that we cannot put a price tag on the safety and security of our children, our staff, and our parents when they're on campus. So, I ask you, if other school districts can have district cell phones, why can't we? Thank you so much.
Thank you. And The next request is on the subject of Jessica Gould. I butchered her name earlier, I'm gonna butcher it again. It's Kyla, sorry. Oh, it's an A, okay. Anyway, Kyla, you wanna come up and?
Hello, yes, I'm here just to speak again. I spoke to you guys before you went to your closed session, but I just am here to support Jessica Gould's movement into the administrative position of assistant principal over at Oak Intermediate. She's worked in the social science department, which is my department, so I've had interactions with her on that level. And she's just a great teacher. She contributes to group work. She works well with the people that she's around. She's just a fun person to interact with. And then on the other level of it, she's just immensely professional. In terms of TCA, she's been on the executive board, and I've had an opportunity to see her really contribute to the work of our union and also of our school. So just as the vice president for TCA currently, we would like to advocate for her taking the position of assistant principal over at Oak.
Thank you, Kyla. And then the next request is from Mary Saxon, who wants to speak about acceptance of gifts. Mary?
So good evening, everyone. And I time this, it should be less than 3 minutes. Okay, before I speak, I want to make it known that what's said by me is not directed at Dr. Fricker, and it's not against Dr. Fricker. So she's been extremely helpful and responsive. And so, as most of you know, my name is Mary Saxon, and I am the Temple City Council PTA president. So I'm speaking on an agenda, well, it's not on the agenda, but I believe it would be on the consent agenda, where I have seen it before on Temple City and on numerous other school district agendas. So what I'm talking about is the acceptance of gifts. So many years ago, I don't know, 5 something, when David James was a CBO, on each regular board meeting agenda, he had acceptance of gifts, which is a list of the donations made to the school district from all different sources such as business, private individuals, families, and PTAs. The donor was listed, the amount of money or tangible item that was donated, and what the money was donated for, and what school site it was donated to, along with other pertinent information, was on this form. So, I have not seen this on the agenda since David James resigned. This is a standard procedure that all districts do. It is all on display for public view on their websites, because I did research also, and all the districts I looked on, they all have this. So, okay, with that being said, so I don't know if Marianne Sorrell was not aware of this because she came from the private sector and they don't do anything like that. I don't know, I'm not like a finance person, so I'm just trying to figure it out. So nevertheless, various PTAs were having problems because they were donating funds through the proper channels with their proper fiduciary forms completed, but the money wasn't acknowledged, nor was it being spent on what was specified to be spent on. So Don Duhamel, the Temple City Council PTA parliamentarian, has been working through this with Marianne, and with the help of Dr. Fricker, the missing money of $11,000 that was spent elsewhere is now back where it's supposed to be, and it's been resolved. So that's a great thing, thank you. So now, in our meeting with Dr. Fricker, I brought up the fact that the community and PTA donations were not being acknowledged in an acceptance of gifts, and that there have been substantial donations over the past 4 years. The Temple City Unit PTAs, I can just speak for them, but I know other people have donated, have contributed tens of thousands of dollars during this time period. Anyway, so Dr. Fricker addressed the situation and stated that Mary Ann would include an acceptance of gifts in the board packet once a month. This was great news. Unfortunately, I looked in the latest board meeting packet and it was nowhere to be found. So then I thought, maybe I missed it. So I looked in the prior board packet for July, and it's not there. So I'm just gonna say, it's very disappointing to me because I know factually that Longton PTA donated over $10,000 this past June. And we do have other PTAs waiting to donate a lot. That's it, sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
And I will say with the advent of the new fiscal year, I think you'll be very pleased to see that coming agenda. Okay, the next request is from John Pomeroy, who wants to speak about the work plan.
Thank you and good evening. I just wanted to say to all of you, thank you for the process, and particularly to you, Board President Smith, that you all went through to seek the appointment of a new board member to fill the remaining term a couple weeks ago, and congratulate Melissa Espinoza for her appointment. Welcome her to the board. I'll tell you that when we were back there waiting for our interviews, and there were 5 of us in the room, so it felt like a closed session of a board meeting. And among us were some former board members, so that was kind of exciting. But one thing that I quickly learned in talking with Melissa Espinoza is her professional background and the leadership positions that she took on. I was just impressed, and frankly thought to myself, I'd like to serve on the school board with her. So I just wish you the best of luck, and the board as a whole, I encourage all of you to work together and listen to each other. And I'm out here, there's other previous members of our governance team that come to meetings, and I hope certainly my intention is to support all of you in any way that I can. So thank you, and good luck.
Thank you, John. Okay, and then our last request is from Rachel Lozada, who wants to speak about the complaint that we declared.
Good evening, board. First and foremost, congratulations, Jessica. Class of 1990, she was our class president, so I can't believe it's been that long. But the reason I'm up here is you were presented with a complaint with some very strong allegations of theft by district employees. Some concerns that I have is that I was never interviewed, and I don't know what type of investigative process that happened, but anytime there's a complaint involving a criminal act, there should be an investigation, and someone should be talking to the complainant. You have a deputy DA in here. I'm sure he would tell you, you have to interview somebody and you have to take leads. I did a lot of public records requests, and basically the allegations of theft of the recyclables, copper, brass from the construction. You have a Telecu representative here in the audience. The concern that I have is there was an employee that took those pictures. I then told the employee to go to his union president, who then went to the superintendent. Unfortunately, nobody ever interviewed to find out when that picture was taken. So in my public records request, I got recyclable receipts for November, December. I even found out something interesting. You, as a school district, sold property, but you have no report in your board agenda or packet. 3270 is your board bylaw. So I would look into who authorized the tools and so forth that I wasn't even asking about to be sold, which the board never approved. But the recyclables, the pictures that were given to the superintendent, they were taken in January, and you've had no recyclable report. So I don't fault you for making your decision tonight about my complaint, but I hope you understand that I already had a feeling it was gonna go this way, because you're only as good as your staff, and your staff has some incompetent issues. Financial irregularities, this screams theft. So I made a police report, and I did it recently, because I don't trust that you're being fed the right information. On the second complaint, it was a picture of a staff member with a weapon under the penal code, a crossbow. Again, ask your deputy DA that's sitting here. A toy-like crossbow has to have orange or yellow markings in the state of California. I understand it was probably a bad choice for a Halloween costume, but what was more disturbing to me is that the administrator in that picture, and I say this wholeheartedly for some of the administrators that are sitting out here, I don't think they would make that mistake, to allow a staff member and then to say they didn't see it. Count your ceiling panels. These are 2.5 regular foot ceiling panels. You're talking maybe 5 to 8 feet. That crossbow didn't magically appear in here without an administrator seeing it. So if you're going to trust your staff, then I would encourage you to hold your staff accountable, because a liar in this realm is a liar and there's no way around it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving along. And now on to district updates. And we'll start first with business services. Mary Ann, what do you have for us?
The fiscal services team and purchasing team are very busily closing the end of the school year. And we are aware that we need to bring a donations report back, and we will start that in the new fiscal year. At the high school, the pool and the softball field are very close to completion. We have a small punch list to complete there. La Rosa and Cloverly are also moving along well. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mary Ann. And then moving on to Ed Services, Dr. Joshua Porter.
Hi, Ed Services recently received notice that the materials related to the approved elementary ELA adoption Wonders last May with approval has been shipped, and we expect receipt of those materials either on July 24th or July 25th to the respective sites. We'll be reaching out to sites to determine appropriate needs related to the intake and cataloging of those materials. All adoption materials are expected to be ready for distribution prior to the return of the staff this coming school year. Educational Services also currently working with staff on a timeline for the ELA and math adoption at the secondary level. I really do need to take a moment to thank the department chairs for coming in and meeting with me as I'm new to the district. There was a lot that I want to get caught up on, and they volunteered their time to come and meet, so I appreciate that. As we begin to adopt these new curriculum options, we've also begun the process of evaluating the technology needs related to future adoptions. We're currently in the process of compiling a comprehensive list of student devices currently in circulation for student use at the elementary, middle, and high school. And lastly, the previously approved move of the visually impaired program currently located in Arcadia is on track to move back to Temple City Unified School District. This program will be housed on the campus along with elementary. We're working with Principal Chang to determine the specific location on the campus. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Josh. And then lastly, Personnel Services, Dr. DeMonica.
We've had quite a busy few weeks in personnel. I would first like to thank the staffs of Oak and the Temple City High School for participating in the selection and recruitment and interviewing process. I know it wasn't easy, and I do appreciate your time and support. As a personnel department, we're really working to streamline the process and make it more effective in terms of hiring and recruitment. We've taken a look at questions, updated the questions. We have sent out surveys to staff, parents, and students as quickly as possible to get some feedback on what they're looking for in a new leader. We also have the unit has helped, both the CSEA and TSEA have helped me build interview panels that are representative of each of the staffs and district office, and we have lively discussions, and it's a great collaborative process, and I have to thank you for those opportunities. In terms of, we have chosen an Oak principal, an Oak AP, and a high school assistant principal, and I do have to thank you for that process. It just has been, and we will continue to get better, and just as we continue to just attract the best people possible internally and out when we need them, and I just need to thank you for that.
Great, thank you, Monica. With that, we're going to move on to bargaining unit comments, starting first with TCEA and Ellen Laughlin, LC. Okay, and we'll move on to CSEA 105, Robin. Four for two. And then CSEA 823, Jesse Castellanos, who I don't see in here either. Okay, so with that, We will move on to student board member comments. Sam, what do you have for us?
So good evening, everyone. Just a few updates for tonight. ASB's annual leadership retreat is next week, and we'll be planning the next school year and what our vision is. ASB will also be helping out with the registration that's coming soon at the high school, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Samuel. With that, we're going to move on to board member comments, and I'm going to go first tonight. Just a couple of things because it is summer. First, I appreciate all the time and effort and all the candidates who put their name in the hat for the board position that was addressed earlier. It took a lot of time on your part, took a lot of time on our part. I think it was a good process, and I think it came to a good conclusion. So thanks to everybody for that. Also on July 17th, we had some special board meeting on governance workshop with regard to the Brown Act, and I think it was a valuable time and session for all of us. And then lastly, I want to congratulate again Amanda Shea for receiving the self-certificate for the Skills USA contest. So with that, I will move on to member Nollenberg. Ken, what do you have for us?
Just a couple of quick ones. I also attended the training for the Brown Act, which was about a 3-hour training from 9 to 12. Very helpful. I also attended the Temple City Aging Group, and one of the things that the Aging Group is looking for is a grant. One of the members of the committee has access to some people, and they think that the chances are very good to be able to get a grant for funding for aging, with the exception of not funding a facility for just for senior citizens. And those are the main two things.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Moving right along, we'll move down next to member Espinosa. Melissa, what do you have for us?
Yes, I have just a couple things. I just wanted to share the efforts that I'm making to get up to speed on this job and get acclimated with the business of the district. So I did attend the Ethics and Brown Act training. I did spend some time to get an overview of the district from Dr. Fricker, and also to get grounded in the business of the district. I plan to spend some time with each division and go to each school and make sure I'm well versed in the general culture of the schools and how things are running and any challenges they might have. So I'll be trying to do that over the next few months. And then I also have registered for the Masters in Governance scheduled. The first 2 classes are scheduled in September, but all 5 will be completed by the end of October. So that is what I'm doing to make sure I can make good decisions for the district, along with these wonderful folks. And then community outreach. I attended the youth development dine out at Peppers last Friday. I saw some familiar faces, but I know it went all day, so I just hope they had a good result. And then I also attended the Australia tour recap, which was wonderful. I was really touched by some of the students' recollection of their most memorable moments, and I'm hoping that Matt will come next time and maybe even bring a couple students to talk about it. That's it.
Great, thank you, Melissa. And then moving on right along, Dr. Michael Lynn. Michael, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Board President Matt Smith. Congratulations to Amanda Shea for being awarded the silver medal on Skills USA. And thank you for all the applicants who applied for the vacant board seat, and congratulations. Melissa Espinosa, welcome to the team. Also, I appreciate and enjoyed the Brown Act training last week, and I look forward to the next board training in August on the superintendent's evaluation and the board's self-evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And last but not least, member Georgina.
Thank you. I received an invitation to the City of Hope Youth Mentor Program graduation on August 6th. And having worked in the City of DeWarty, I have attended this before, and they offer an awesome program at the City of Hope for high school students. And so I plan on attending this, but I want to encourage others to attend it. I don't know how many Temple City kids are involved in it, but there was quite a few from DeWarty, and it's really a unique and really special experience they get working right alongside some of these world-class researchers at the City of Hope and doing projects with them. So I plan on attending. I want to encourage everyone else to attend also. It's August 6th at 11.
11:01. Great, thank you, Donna. And with that, we'll move on to the superintendent's comments. Dr. Kimberly Frederick.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I want to welcome Ms. Espinosa to the board. It is a pleasure having you, so we look forward to getting to know you and helping you acclimate. So whatever we can do, please let us know. Having said that too, I also want to welcome Dr. Porter to his officially first board meeting. As you know, in the past couple of months, that seat has been remained vacant. We did that for a number of reasons, primarily to be fiscally responsible as possible, and we did decide not to go and hire an interim to fill the vacancy that we had in human resources. I just want to thank Monica Makovich, who has graciously gone over and covered 2 departments over the past months for the district office. It's really a tough position when you're covering 2 major departments and you're wanting to make sure that everything's attended to. I think that she did an impeccable job during that time, and it did allow us to, have a little bit of cost savings there too. But we do welcome Dr. Porter, and we are very glad that he's filling that seat now. On to just current news that we are working on from the superintendent's office. We're currently putting together an administrative evaluation protocol from our office, which will be coming out here in the next month. This evaluation protocol would serve to evaluate all of our district and site administrators, of which we hope to move in that forward direction and be in alignment with the administrative standards, which have just been revised. So we look to sharing that with you in the upcoming months. And last but not least, I am very glad to wrap up some of those hiring initiatives that we had at the site level. And I do want to echo some comments that were previously made and thank the staff who graciously donated their time throughout the summer just to be on those hiring panels with us. And as that process has standardized, those comments and that discussion was really key in who the selection process determined to be the final candidates that are presented in front of the board tonight. So with that, thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Kim. And then moving on to written communications, do we have any written communication? I have something I'm going to kind of force fit into there. I have a copy of our board bylaws concerning student board members, and I'd like to pass along a copy of it to Samuel. At our close of our first board meeting in June, Donna and I were talking afterwards, and then included welcoming Samuel, but also asked if he were aware that he would have a chance to vote on things and whatnot, and he wasn't. So I thought it appropriate to hand him off the board bylaws that really talks about what his responsibilities and whatnot are. And I thought I would highlight what those are for everybody up here and out in the audience so that we all understand going forward. First of all, kind of a highlight for the district. In 1970, the Temple City Unified School District's governing board was the first board in the state of California to place a student member on the board, so that was actually before my time. Statement of purpose for student board members. The purpose for having a student member of the board is to, 1, provide students with the opportunity to express their attitudes, opinions, and ideas concerning the operation of the schools in the district, and 2, provide the board with an opportunity to listen to student opinion on matters that directly affect students throughout the district. There's some more information that goes into the detail about how the student board members are selected, which I'll skip. But further down it says, a student board member shall be seated with other members of the board. In addition, a student board member shall be recognized at board meetings as a full member, shall receive all materials presented to other board members except those related to closed sessions, and may participate in the questioning of witnesses and discussing issues. A student board member may cast preferential votes on all matters except those subject to closed session discussion. Preferential votes shall be cast prior to the official board vote and shall not affect the final numerical outcome of the vote. Preferential votes shall be recorded in the board minutes. Almost done. The student board member may make motions that may be acted upon by the board except on matters dealing with employer-employee relations pursuant to government code. And then, as necessary, this is important too, very important. As necessary, the superintendent or designee shall at district expense provide learning opportunities to student board members through trainings, workshops, and conferences to enhance their knowledge, understanding, and performance of their board responsibilities. And I mentioned that specifically because I talked to Eileen, who was a former student board member, and had mentioned to her after the CSBA conference last December that I hadn't seen her there, and she didn't know anything about it. So it's a valuable opportunity for the student board members to learn more about their roles and meet other student board members throughout the state to find out what they're doing, and I think you'll find that quite exciting. And with that, I will just end it there. Okay? So now we're moving on to the discussion information portion of our agenda. And our first item is item 18, review the Williams complaint quarterly summary for April 1 through June 30th. And as we all have in front of us, there were no complaints, so there's really nothing to discuss or do. But that's good news, we don't have any Williams complaints. Okay, then moving on to the discussion action portion of our agenda, starting first with administration. Item 19 calls for a motion to adopt resolution 1920-01, certification of signatures, and authorizes various individuals on the cabinet to sign warrants, contracts, orders of payments, notices of employment, etc. And this is a roll call vote. I don't believe this is something we are updating because we have a new board member joining the team, and this has to be taken with all current people.
I'll make the motion.
To approve, and we have a second. Motion from member Georgino and a second from member Espinoza. Samuel, here, chime in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You want to vote?
Sure, yes, I.
Okay, so we have aye from Samuel, and then for the rest of the board, this is a roll call. Member Nollenberg?
Yes.
Member Espinoza?
Yes.
Member Lynn? Yes. Member Georgino?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So with that, we are moving on to business services. Item 20, which calls for a motion to approve change order number 04 to Fast Track Construction Corporation for the Temple City High School Phase 1B in the amount of $232,921.26. Motion to approve in a second. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to approve? Okay. Very good.
This is our
Jason?
fourth change order for Fast Track on this project. If you recall, we had a really big one last December for electrical conductors that needed to be installed for code. This one, now that the project is wrapping up, kind of entails a lot of the credits that were owed to the district, and also some of the smaller items that need to be paid out to the contractor for some owner requested items, some architectural design changes, and some unforeseen items.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the change orders.
Sorry?
Change order number 4.
Okay, we have a motion from member Georgino,
Second.
second from member Nollenberg. Any comments or questions?
Where are the orders themselves? The other ones, when we had a change order, we listed what each one of the items were on the other page.
Yeah, that's included in the packet there. There's.
I didn't get it.
Oh, you must be missing
It's
something.
online.
Huh?
It wasn't included in your packet.
Okay. It's online? Okay, I get it.
I just had a question. Is this the final payment for this project?
Payment?
The
No.
final
Change order?
change
Not
order?
likely.
There's gonna be more?
Yes.
And I had a question as well, actually. I noticed that it says per construction manager in the district, the extended Department of State Architects review of CCD 06 required removal of locker scope for contract, and so we're getting a $60,000 credit. But I'm just concerned about where people are gonna put their clothes and whatnot, if they're gonna be in the pool. And
So there are existing lockers. Actually, the district just a couple years ago purchased new lockers. In this project, we were going to add some additional lockers. Along the way, it was a request to add some changing areas. And when we added those changers, we had to take the design back to DSA. And in an effort to hurry up and get out of the locker room so that the district could have beneficial use of it, we elected to pull that scope from the contractor. And we're gonna end up doing it outside of this contract.
Okay, that was my next question. Okay, great, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
So we're gonna have change lockers put in,
Correct.
what time for?
We're looking to have them done over Christmas break.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, I will go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries 5-0. Thank you. I'm learning. She's pointing out I should have asked Sam, so I'm learning. Okay, I apologize. Okay, we are moving on to item 21, which calls for a motion to approve resolution 1920-02, Temple City High School Grant Use Plan. This is also a roll call vote. We have a motion. Sam, you care to make a motion? A motion to
I make a
approve?
motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion from member Al, A.U., pronounce it right. And do we have a second then?
I'll second it.
Second from member Georgino. Are there comments or questions on this item?
Yeah, could we have a brief explanation, please?
So I want to say it was in 2016 when the high school, the first phase of the high school initially went in construction. The district submitted to the Office of Public School, OPSC, Public School Construction, for some additional grants. It's basically matching funding for certain areas of the construction. There's a bunch of stipulations. But basically the district is, for this project, up for, I want to say something in the neighborhood of $6 to $7 million in matching funding for this specific project. It would obviously be reimbursed back to the bond program now that the money's already been expended. To do that, the district submitted applications for granting at the 9 through 12 level. Unfortunately, the state expended all those, and they still have funding at the middle school level. In order for us to go after those middle school grants and use them for high school projects, we had to augment the classroom loads that we show to OPSC so that they are comfortable that all the students at middle school level are currently housed.
Thank you.
I had a question as well, because I read it pretty thoroughly, and there's no real mention of what the dollar amount is, good, bad, or indifferent, in terms of...
So a lot of that is depending on what OPSC's final review is, what their final student head count's going to be, and things like that. Our latest update, like I said, for this particular project, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's in the neighborhood of $6 to $7 million. And I want to say for what the total expenditure that the district's had so far in the bond program, it's upwards of $20 million.
$20 million?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And this can be used for anything?
It's reimbursement to the bond project.
Yeah, but I mean, we can use it for advanced planning as long, or is it
So long as it's described and covered under the bond program, yes.
Any other comments or questions?
I read through it and I just want to make sure I'm understanding what I read. So this is money already spent and we're reimbursing?
Correct.
Okay, and the plan was to take grant money from grade 7 and 8 and reallocate it to the high school. Is that what?
State grant money, not grant money that the district has already realized.
Okay, all right. So, and I don't know anybody from the district if they want to weigh in, because I want to make sure that we're not we're not doing something for the middle school that we could have done for them to benefit the high school.
So if I can add just a little bit, the money that we're talking about is a state bond that was voted by the taxpayers about 3 years ago. And so what it does is it allows you, if you've already spent money from bond measure S, you can put those projects in and sort of apply to OPSC. And we've been in line for quite some time, and they give matching money. So it's not taking anything from Oak. They just have some strange calculations of where they'll give you money back. In the State of the District report that we'll be doing, I believe still in August, we're going to talk a little bit more about which projects we've sent up to Sacramento, where they are in line. The first bit of money we're supposed to receive as a reimbursement will be coming in September. That's the latest information that we have. After that, it'll be about a 9-month wait, and then another year after that. And all of it's basically money from the state bond that we can use for other projects. We'll also bring back in the future what it can be spent on and what it cannot be spent on. And then we'll need to meet with community members and the board and set priorities for what projects the board would like to see done and how much is available to be spent. None of that planning of any kind has been done yet. The dollar amounts are not firm quite yet. So we'll be coming back with that information. We're trying to get every penny we can from anywhere we can get it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Just a question. Right now, for the bond issue, we have no money for the next 4 or 5 years, right? Or no?
It's about 5 years before the next issuance.
And do we think will that be a positive issuance, or do we have to wait for property tax increases?
No, that money's already set aside, there's no need for a change in property
Okay,
taxes.
so we won't be, so all the mods, the facilities will be done under facility bonds and general funding, correct?
No, there are three sort of pots of money. So there's the Measure S money, which we're very close to spending everything that's been issued so far. And in about 5 years, we'll get our next issuance and determine what those projects will be. What we're finishing up right now is the high school, the pool, and the locker room, and the softball field, and then La Rosa and Cloverly. And that will be the end of any projects that have been planned thus far. So the next issuance then will again be the board deciding what the priorities are. And then we'll look at what the timing will be with that money and with the state money that's coming. But they're two separate revenue sources from the bonds, two separate bonds.
And for the board itself, the board will authorize the planning of an item, but you won't start construction until you see the money you paying, right?
Right. People won't work when we aren't paying them. They're not too good about that. And then just as a general rule of thumb, once that we determine what those projects are, the planning phase is, 12 to 16 months after you define everything.
So it's still gotta go through DSA, right?
Oh, absolutely. And DSA can be a 2-month process. It can be a year process. We've seen that for these projects. Some of the larger ones we get back very quickly, and some of the very small ones have sat for quite a long time.
Real quick on that last cost implications, is there a typo there, or is that supposed to say funding would not otherwise be used? I just want to make sure that it's.
What page is it?
It's the first page,
Oh.
agenda report. I just want to make sure, is that a typo, or is that what it was supposed to say?
That's accurate.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, I will go ahead and call for the vote, and this is a roll call vote. Member Nolember?
Yes.
Member Dick? Oh, yeah, well. Let's go ahead and do, Member Espinoza?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Georgina?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well, and Sam, did you have preference?
Yes.
Okay, you don't have to, if you don't want to. Okay, very good, so the motion carries 5-0, unanimous. We are moving on to item 22 now, which calls for a motion to approve adjustments to the 2018-19 district budget. We have a motion and a second to approve, please.
I'll move we approve it.
Motion from Member Georgino, second from Member Lynn. Mary Ann, is there anything you want to tell us about this?
I would absolutely like to explain this a little bit for you. So I just want to make sure everyone's clear, this is not changing the budget that you approved at all. There was a clerical error made in my department when they created the Excel file. It's about 6,000 lines to be uploaded into the county. There was a clerical error made, so this is to correct that. But there's no change to any budget dollars.
Overall balance is the same.
Absolutely.
Any comments or questions?
And that applies to all of these documents in this section?
Yes, they require us to break it out by fund and then by object code. So it's all related to that same item.
The follow-on pages are going to the Office of Personnel, our office, the county office.
Yes.
And
In the top right-hand corner, it will tell you the fund number. So the first 2 pages are Fund 1 and General Fund, and then Fund 11. After that.
Mary Ann, curiously, did we discover the error, or the county helped us get the error?
We discovered the error. But once you upload, you're sort of out of luck. So this is the way to correct it.
So I think that I'll ask this question. All right, so on all of them, I noticed like reductions in books and supplies. And so it just raised a red flag for me because we're moving money out of those funds, and I just wanted to make sure that's not gonna negatively impact the schools.
Right, so just to confirm, this actually isn't a change to anything that the board previously approved. It's a clerical error in the upload file.
Okay,
There's
so-
no adjustment to anything other than what's already been board approved.
So I will look at the budget and then, or at least I'll know exactly what it is, because I haven't had a chance to do that.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Last call for questions or comments? Okay, I will go ahead and call for the vote. Samuel, you can chime in if you like.
I think there's anything to say, but, yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to make the motion.
We have the motion and second.
Yes, aye.
Okay, and for the rest of the board, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so that motion carries 5-0 plus a preferential vote.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain just because I just feel like I don't know enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I heard you, okay.
Thank you.
So the motion carries 4-0 and 1 plus 1 preferential vote. Moving on to item 23, Personnel Services calls for a motion to accept the receipt of bids and award contract for compensation study consultant. We have a motion to approve and second, please. Samuel, you can make that motion if you want, or?
I would like to make the motion.
Okay. We have a motion from Samuel Au and a second from Member Espinoza. Any comments or questions on section item 23?
This is a study that we're taking.
I think, sir. Every several years, a personnel department needs to do a comprehensive study of all job description.
Do we have to do it?
It's good to do it every 2 to 3 years. We need to do a more comprehensive study so we make those targets and catch up. We need to take a look at all job descriptions and salaries to make sure all our job descriptions are accurate, up to date if we're missing any positions, and that all of our salaries meet those job descriptions.
So you think we'll have a plus 0 for cost? Some people will get more and some people will get less.
All the company does is helps us revise and make recommendations, which we will bring to the board and to the unions before we proceed to change anything.
I have a question. What were the other bids?
The first bid was roughly, the first one was roughly around high 40s, and the third one was extremely high and did not have any recommendations to back it up. So we went through the one that is used by other districts that had great recommendations and was also recommended by FitMat. So we went with the one that was in the middle.
I'd just like to request in the future, maybe we could have the other bids listed along.
And this is due when? Do we have a date in the
It takes
contract?
about 6 to 8 months.
We don't have a specific date though, it's due by.
Not until they dive into what we have.
Any other comments or questions? We'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mike, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the motion carries 5-0. Thank you. With that, we're moving on to the consent agenda, which includes routine items approved by one motion and one vote, unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. A motion to consent.
Accept all of the consent calendar.
Motion from Member Nolenberg and a second from
I'll second.
Member Georgino. Comments or questions? Go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries 5-0. Thank you. With that, we are on to board requests for future agenda items. Is there anything anybody wants to add? We've had foreign language down here for some time. I know part of that was with regard to the German language program. And then we also added the Cantonese. I can't remember what the foreign language was for the Asian-speaking Chinese population. But we've addressed those two issues. Do we still need foreign language on this for future?
I think we had it on there because we were interested in the dual language immersion. Yeah.
I should say dual language.
Yeah, it might be descriptive.
Okay. We need to address that still. Any other?
Yeah, the two that, the one that you've already mentioned, which is a list of all the donors, the board should approve that. And probably the phone system, we should either look at it or do something, one or the other. I don't know if we have, and it only for upper management, it's kind of like a trial balloon if we do it. I would recommend it.
Phone system?
Yeah, well, like,
cell phones.
yeah, cell phones.
Okay, anything else?
And I think we should, as a board policy, we should establish that all consent items are all information or action items be accompanied by a staff report, which this time they all are, but sometimes they're not.
Anything else? All right, I will go ahead and call for a vote. I'm sorry, yeah. So I included in tonight's consent agenda and what we just approved. Congratulations go out to Jessica Gould.
Congratulations to one of our own, Jessica Gould. In the spirit of the induction, we got you a succulent plant because it means tenacious, and you tend to store water because you're very resourceful. So congratulations.
Thank you for the love and support. I am so excited. I really am very, very excited. So thank you for the opportunity. Thanks.
Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from member Georgino and a second from member Lynn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 5-0.
I was, yeah.